The Bangor Chronicle, late edition. July 21st, 1924. Bangor Business and Twilight Talk by Milton Woodward. Keen readers of the afternoon edition will have seen your esteemed columnist's earlier piece on the subject of Alice Devereux's curious visitors today. Thanks to your able journalists' network of keen-eyed and even more keen-eared assistants in the pursuit of truth and rumor, we bring breaking word of Devereux's renewed search for Professor Jeremy Winter. For indeed the Chronicle can confirm, via the esteemed halls of the Bangor Police Department, that a private inquiry is underway as to the whereabouts of the good Professor Winter following his successful release from Green Acres Sanatorium, after treatment with the glamorous Dr. Anastasia Carstairs, recently departed for Europe. The presence at the Bangor PD offices of local lobster fisherman Mr. Allagash Bunyan surely suggests the hunt leads upriver to the big woods of our fine county. Now, your intrepid reporter may not know the woods so well, but he's no stranger to the river, being a keen angler like so many of our readers. And a colorful character such as Allagash Bunyan surely doesn't just mean to take the charming assistant Professor Charles Lohman of Maine University and our very own enigmatic postmistress Natasha Rulyova on a hunt for Old Blue, the legendary lobster of Patuxet Creek. No, it's your humble author's guess that the university and the Historical Society have decided to join forces in the search for Professor Winter. Why such keenness to pursue the archaeologist, I hear my reader cry. Will he be the one that got away? Well, perhaps Professor Winter suffered a continued nervous breakdown following his unfortunate previous trip to the woods back in 1923, resulting in his incarceration at that fine institution in the first place. Sadly, neither the mysterious Dr. Anastasia Carstairs nor Chief Psychiatrist Dr. James Withenshaw were available for comment. However, thanks to the trail of Bunyan, Lohman, and Rulyova, we at the Chronicle now know both the local police and the county sheriff's department have assisted the expedition. Long have the pages of the Twilight Talk been dismissed as mere tittle-tattle, but we are confident that the private mission is being sent to bring the errant professor home. We are left to imagine the wilderness and hardships our mysterious postmistress will be asked to endure in the presence of former Navy pilot Lohman and the rugged outdoorsman Allagash Bunyan. Who knows what secrets lie in the woods, known only to Professor Winter? One thing is certain, if there's further news to be had of their search, your honest correspondent will leave no stone unturned to find the truth. Because if the Twilight Talk holds secrets to be told, you can rest assured Milton Woodward will tease it out of the woodwork. And remember, no matter the mystery, the gossip always goes with a bang here in Bangor, Maine.
The Apocalypse Players present The House in the Woods by Gary Pilkington. A Call of Cthulhu scenario, adapted for 7th edition by Joseph Chant. Copyright Grenadier Models and Chaosium. Starring Dan Wheeler as Assistant Professor Flight Lieutenant Charles Chuck Lohman. Jeany Spark as Female Postmaster Natasha Rulyova. Danann McAleer as Local Lobster Mogul and Supplier Allagash Bunyan. And Joseph Chant as everybody and everything else.
And it's largely wordless, all of this. But I think, Natasha, you're given a moment to wander up ahead, and you get the first proper look at the cabin. It's in a clearing. It's rather handsome. It commands a little prospect on raised land, with dense firs around it, but all at sort of 30-40 yards away. So it's in a little clearing, which is very nice. It's a really nice. You can imagine it's a nice vacation spot. You can feel a fresh breeze from the lake up above. even though you can't see any of that. And the still clear sky is there. With a few clouds off to the east, you can feel that gathering storm still over there, but it's cooler air up here.
And is it a 2-story house?
It is It's a 2-story.
So it's quite a substantial holiday vacation home.
It is a vacation home. And as you're standing there commanding this view and the first to see it, you're the first one to spot the doors, because you just happen to be on the angle as the sun is going down steadily. You get the last of the light on 2 doors banked into the earth, but connected to the building, but banked into the earth at a storm shelter angle, or a root cellar angle, as you would perchance believe it to be.
Or ice house. From the old country, yes.
Indeed. And all three of you understand it intimately, because 2 of you still live in the woods, and 1 of you travelled through various parts of Russia and know about the old houses.
I've seen the summer houses.
And what's your plan?
Are we still sort of in a clearing, or are we undercover now?
I would say you've just left the cover of the trees. Imagine a sort of hollow way protecting the road up to this final part of the track.
Right.
And now, unfortunately for you, Loman, it is a bit more exposed here. The front of the house commands a little bit of a view into dense forest below. And there's a slope that leads away into that dense forest. Whereas, I say slope, and it's like it's not much of a gradient. Whereas the land climbs up away above to the back of the house. But it's dense. It's surrounded by dense trees, really reaching trees, really old trees, old growth.
The state of this place looks like an old lobster died halfway through shedding its carapace. Am I right?
Well, I wouldn't know too much about that, but certainly is.
I'll take you out on the boat one time. Oh, look at it though. It's beautiful / ugly / dramatic.
So Natasha,
what does it look like? Like we're at the front, right?
Yeah. It's quite statuesque. It's possibly bigger than any of you were expecting. I think Rulyova sort of become aware of that. It's 2-story. It's got quite an impressive old-built chimney. Gives you the impression that maybe it's had quite a lot of renovation to it and has been here for quite a long time. It's a house rather than a wood cabin. You might want to take a little look at one of your maps, because everything that you can see on the Carstairs vacation home map makes perfect sense to you.
Now, do we have those as characters, or is this just reference for us as players to sort of see what we're looking at?
Oh, that is indeed just for reference for the players. So lots of there's one big tree very close by, a storied pine.
Yeah. So which side of that picture are we on?
I'm imagining that you are now in the bottom left corner, the southwestern corner of the clearing, looking at the house in the centre to the northeast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
cars
those double doors to the root cellar, though, we wouldn't be able to see from there, would we?
An excellent point.
These are the double doors.
Yeah.
Round the back.
Although, what is this interesting item here?
That's the post box.
Post box. Great.
Post box.
You're absolutely right to point that out. But without wanting to freak you all out, and yet you could have sworn that you just saw the root cellar doors.
Okay.
Maybe we got an impression of them as we pulled up. We caught a glimpse of them or something.
No,
the grass grows higher.
No. I'm going to be very exact, and I'm going to say you're absolutely right. Now you can't see them, and they aren't there.
Oh fuck!
Oh no!
I thought.
But I'm not going to make you roll any sand.
Keep it up on me.
But I'm going to make a little note about Jeany, pedantic, very exact observance. plus 10 to skill of observing, -10 to helpful to GM. That's very good.
God, if there were helpful to GM points, we'd all be fucked.
And we'd all be dead.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably why we all try and kill each other so much, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
I don't want to kill you all. I want you all to survive, guys. You can do this, guys. I'm rooting for you.
And we've pulled up. Are we now right next to Rulyova?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of imagining you've sort of pulled up alongside her. I think she's still got the edge there. And was there anything particularly you wanted to look at, Sasha?
Yes, I'm interested in. There's a post box, I think.
Oh yeah, on the map you'll see that there's that thing at the bottom of the path there. That is a post box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, of course you'd want to go and look at that. Of course you would.
Yeah, for any recent post documentation might give us an idea of when there was somebody last in.
You make a beeline. You make a beeline for that. Buster jumps around in the back seat excitedly.
Yeah. Okay, calm down, boy,
Hey.
calm down.
Say, listen, could you get him off the upholstery?
Yeah. Calm down. He's a clean dog.
Yeah, I'm not
Come on,
worried
Buster,
about the
let's
dirt.
go.
It's him jumping around there, his claws scratching the leatherette.
I guess the leatherette. Yeah.
I think we can all die happy now that we've had that line. That was great. The leatherette. Fastidious.
Right, Buster, stay close to me. No running off.
He looks like he's from a Lego kit. He looks like he's from Lego, but he's fastidious about his leatherette. Sorry. Yeah, Bunyan, you Buster responds to your voice beautifully and climbs down, but he's looking keenly at the door.
Yeah. Okay, boy, we gotta be quiet here, okay? I'm aware that there's not much light left, so I think it's a case of should we have a quick look around the perimeter? You know, see what we got going on with the place.
Well, I wouldn't
While it's
mind.
still light enough to see.
I wouldn't mind getting straight inside there. To be honest.
Yeah, he does look a little. I think all of that work you've done on this long journey to realise that he's struggling with this personal, this personal issue. The whole stuff with Cappy not wanting to go in there. You're thinking, right? Yeah, so he wants to go inside.
Okay.
But maybe you want to do something else, Bunyan. Do you want to?
Well, I'd like to have a look around the place outside while there's light. I mean, we can create light inside.
Are you gonna?
Outside's
So
different.
you see Willyover's, not striding, but kind of walking over to the post box that you can make out in the twilight there still.
Yeah.
Do you and Buster want to take a look?
Yeah.
A look around the
Chuck,
back.
you want to get inside? Let's get you inside. I'm just going to do a quick walk around, make sure, we know where we are.
Yeah. So how close can I pull up to the house?
Yeah, you could drive up a little bit closer and then just sort of dash up the path if you wanted, or even across.
Why don't I just pull up as close as possible to the front of the building?
Yeah, do what you want.
And I wind down the window and yell, "Ms. Rulyova, are you
Yes.
you're right there? You getting back in the vehicle for pull you up to the front of the house? Is it so far that
I
actually?
would say that it's that's going to be another off-road check. So I'd just park there if I were you, rather than risk your freshly repaired. But
Okay,
weakened.
fine.
Axle.
I'll say, ignore what I just said. I think maybe I'll just leave the car here.
I generally do.
Did she say that?
You,
Did she say that?
take out.
Only inside her head.
Power check? No, maybe she's. I mean, luckily I missed it. We'll clean it up on the edit. It's fine.
I was going to take out a little hip flask and sort of offer it to Chuck. Sort of say, hey, steady your nerves.
I sort of have a look at it and have a look at him, and then maybe perhaps against my better judgment, I'll take it and take a swig. Much obliged.
Yeah. Maybe could you give me a Constitution check, Lemon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Generally only good for degreasing engines. But,
He says as he takes it away from you.
good for keeps you warm.
Sort of a man.
Fail on my constitution.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is like, it's like rocket fuel. But at the same time, it's like rocket fuel. You feel the lining of your throat burning. Tears stinging your eyes. It's everything that you can do to not kind of bring it back up. But you do kind of, you cough it down. And then afterwards, you do feel a kind of brightness of eye.
It is made from fermented bits of old lobster. It's pretty rank.
There's powerful stuff.
Yeah, this is Yeah, it's an acquired taste. Buster brews it himself.
No.
Although actually on that point, I think I sort of imagine you've sort of opened the door slightly whilst doing this exchange.
I think,
And all the
I'll have my foot out the door.
Yeah, and Buster kind of jumps down. But he does an interesting thing, Allagash, that he doesn't do very often, where he suddenly stops and sort of starts sniffing around the base of a wizened old tree nearby. And then he comes back to you, and then he kind of goes to the path, and he's sniffing around that, and then he starts to go at some stuff that, I mean, it's just grasses, and he doesn't seem terribly happy.
Yeah, boy, what is it, boy?
He comes to you, but his head is low, in that slight hunting fashion.
What do you smell?
I mean, I think Loman, you've probably been around enough dogs to recognise that he's. It's not that he's caught a scent. It's that, well, maybe it is. He's got a scent, but it's not like he's following it.
He's just smelled something he's not happy about.
Yeah. So, Natasha, meanwhile, you are checking out this
The post box.
this post box.
Mm-hmm.
So are you gonna open it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you give me a spot hidden check?
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 13.
Nice.
Out of 60.
So it's taken quite a lot of wear and tear. It's got Carstairs written on the side, and it's formally done Carstairs, and it's confusing with Carstairs. Like winter and Carstairs. It's so tempting to say winters. My bad. You pull it open cautiously, taking no risks. And the thing that really strikes you is inside is really clean. But the outside has the sort of classic wear and tear of being out in the open. Slightly unsettlingly clean. You can't help but think.
Interesting.
And
there's no
post inside.
No post. Interesting.
I mean, obviously you do know that Sheriff Longfellow's been up here, or possibly his deputies have been up here, so there's a question as to whether...
But they did not strike me as the cleanest of men, or that they would not have been the cleanest of men.
Not by reputation, perhaps.
Not to wipe around.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought this was police work.
No.
It's way too neat for that. Loman, I'm sort of imagining that you're making that diagonal dash across to the front porch, which is the quickest route. It would actually be quicker than the route Natasha's taken. It's actually technically the quickest route, unless you drive up.
So Allagash has now got out with Buster?
Let's say that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
He's only just out.
So I'm the only person left in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You are on the house side, though. Allagash should be on the other side, wouldn't he? Because you're on the left side of the left-hand drive.
Yeah.
Fine, okay. So how far is the dash to the
20 yards to the porch?
Oh, fine, okay. Yeah, well, I'll take another look back at. Does it look like Ruliova's sort of heading back towards us?
She certainly. I think she's probably. I imagine. I imagine that she's looking intently at this post box. It sounds ridiculous for a female postmaster, but yes, that is what a female postmaster does. They look intently at post.
I know about post.
Well, sort of, ever the gentleman. As much as I'd like to sort of get out of the open, I don't feel like I want to just run off into the house and desert her, even though I think I, get the feeling that she probably knows how to look after herself. So I think maybe I open the door and I sort of, without getting fully out the car, I call over and say, Ms. Rolyova. He's very uncomfortable saying Ms. He's never said that. No one has ever said that before, actually. No one in the world at this stage. Ms. Rolyova.
It's a massive historical retcon.
Yeah. Ms. Rolyova.
Take it up with Chaosium. Don't take it up with me.
Would you care to accompany me into the house?
And then Natasha, who's been thinking and pondering, sort of snaps to and looks to Flight Lieutenant Assistant Professor Charles Chuck Lohman, snaps shut the post box and says, you look pale. You look pale, Charles. Yes, I will come inside with you.
Oh, I'm quite all right. I was worried about my automobile with the axle trouble on the road, and then that damn dog crawling around on the back seat there.
Yes, men and their cars, they're intricately linked.
That's right. That's what they say. Should we make our way to the front door there?
It would be an honor.
As I see them, if it's fair to jump in quickly,
as I see them
sort of talking, maybe I hear drift on the wind the words "damn dog," which sort of smarts slightly, and he pats himself down. It sounds like a sort of out of tune bongo, and he sort of sifts through. He's got several tobacco tins. One of them is, of course, all his flies for his angling. One of them is his tobacco, and he takes out the last one, which has got his lobster jerky in. Takes out a lump.
The infamous lobster jerky.
Takes out a lump, and it's Buster's favourite. It's
got to be someone.
Just to try and distract Buster from whatever's upsetting him, he sort of breaks off a couple of bits of the lobster, this dried lobster, and chucks it down on the floor.
Oh yeah, which I think Buster does go for, and he sort of he wolfs the first bit, but he does have a little look back behind him in between, which is this is serious. Therefore, for him,
yeah,
there's something unsettling.
I haven't seen him give that sort of look since he had the other pups around and they were stealing his food. It looks like he's nervous about someone bigger coming to take his food from him.
And we all know what he did to them, so.
Yeah, well, quite.
That's another story.
Yeah, he fed well that evening. Yeah, boy, let's you and me take a look around the back. They're starting a fire in there or something.
Yeah, are you going to sort of stealth, or are you? I mean, obviously these two have been having a chat, but I think it's been quite a subdued conversation, and you're still 20 yards away from the house. Yeah. It's not, and it's a big open space. Sound gets deadened, even though it's quite.
I think looking at it and just looking at the light, I just want to do a loop around the house.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you go around and you while the two of you, if it's all right to sort of say that the female postmaster and the assistant professor make their way to the front at the same time as you and Buster make your way round the side and to the back. Could you give me a spot hidden?
Yeah.
Bunyan?
What is my spot hidden? It is all right. I failed it.
Yeah. So you can see this back porch. Increasingly, as Buster comes round, he becomes more and more wary, and actually stops at the corner of the house, and is basically refusing to come with you. And it's kind of, it's just kind of growling. It's not specific. Sometimes he looks to the woods. Sometimes he looks to the house. He actually starts to sort of turn around a bit, follows his own tail, walks back, and kind of goes, and actually starts to kind of just trot gently back to the car.
What is it, boy? Okay. I think maybe I'm going to have to push this spot hidden roll.
Yeah, would you like to... yeah, would you...
I need to be sure there isn't anything. You know, he's trustworthy.
Yeah,
and it's got me slightly
you want to really see what's going on.
I want to just see if there's no figures in the woods. There's nothing by the porch. No, it's twilight, and he's acting as if we've got enemies around.
Well, so I wouldn't say that he's gone into fight or flight. I think if it was that situation, he'd stand right by you.
Yeah,
but
it's more the smell of something that's unsettled.
Rather more that he's been presented with an investigation that is beyond his normal ken.
Well,
Gosh.
that's a good way of looking at it. And no smells upset Buster. I mean, he's eating lobster jerky for fuck's
Right.
sake. So
I mean,
something's gone wrong here.
you say no smells thus far that you've encountered,
Well, quite. That's human
including
noses.
including Old Blue.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And we
quite.
could say that was beyond normal human ken. In fact, I may have to give Buster some Cthulhu Mythos. Maybe I should. Maybe we should give him a little Cthulhu Mythos ranking. Do you want to roll your Cthulhu Mythos, or do you want to roll your spot? Give me a roll against the 2% Cthulhu Mythos for Buster.
Okay.
This could break the game.
92.
22. Do you want to spend the luck? No. He doesn't have that much luck to spend.
He's a very unlucky dog.
Yeah, no, so he's headed back to the car. He doesn't look happy. And in fact, he lies under the car with his head on his feet, just sort of staring at the house. But do you want to push your spot hidden roll? The other two of
Yeah, I
you,
do.
the other two of you have got to the front. Very beautifully made porch, an old rocking chair at the far end. Definitely like a boot scraper. All the mod cons.
Nice. We know they're voting the right way.
Lovely solid wooden cabin style, but 2-story.
Yeah.
Does it look? Is it in all right condition at this sort of distance, or does it look pretty run down?
Yeah, it's taken some wear and tear in the last couple of years. It's taken some wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, considering you live out in the woods, well, both of you would know this, I think, from sight, because Ruliova's been around the block when it comes to kind of dashes and things like that. Not like that. She's got some experience of well-to-do summer houses.
Not like that.
It's the 18 months. It's the It's the 18 months of wear and tear of not being regularly cared for, but up until then it must have been.
Right. Okay.
And everything about the glimpses that you have through the windows with this last of the sunlight gives you the impression of things that have been kind of closed down for... They would have been closed down for winter, and literally open for summer, and winter came in the summer, so we are told.
So it doesn't look like somebody's currently...
There is no one through the window that you can see at this particular point.
I would like to, if it's all right, have a listen at the door.
Yeah, by all means. While you do your listen check, could we hear how
Yes,
the push check is going to happen? The
Yeah,
push
and
spot hidden.
he's pushed it by just having a sip of his own brew,
Fucking hell.
which
Yeah.
sharpens you up,
Right.
you know?
So
however
roll
accustomed.
your Dreamlands knowledge.
And it's a success. It's a hard success.
A hard
not
success.
Extreme, but a hard success. 27.
You see nothing untoward. That the intense orange nature of the light coming through from the last of the sunlight does cast odd shadows, and you wonder whether that's something else. And just as when you're about to sort of turn away, you do see a length of rope lying by the corner of the house. A thin cord of rope, which you hadn't noticed before.
And
It's just coiled by the corner of the house.
I mean, I might walk over and give it a kick, just see if it's attached to anything.
No, it's not. It's a sort of
Okay.
3-yard.
No noose tied in it
No.
or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just checking.
No.
Okay. Well, I think.
And no non-Euclidean
No.
tricks. I mean, you do.
Oh, good.
You see that. You see the root cellar doors, and you think that's odd that I could see them so clearly through the trees earlier. What? But it looks exactly how they looked before.
Yeah. It's just he eats a lot of carrots, drinks a lot of moonshine.
Absolutely, and that's very kind of you to
In which
GA.
case, yeah. It's
So I'm
sort
going
of
to
like
ask.
the
I'm going to ask
policeman
you.
in
What
the house.
are you going to do about Buster? What? Because
Well,
these two are
I was just
clearly
about to
about
say
to
he's-
check out the entrance to the door. We're going to get a listen check from Chuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to complete the circuit of the house. Buster's fine where he is. He's an outdoorsman. He's tough. He's smooth, but he's tough.
Do you know what? What's it? Fail. It's not far off, but my luck is so low that I don't think I'm going to risk it. I know I'm not going to spend any luck, so that's a fail on my list.
I mean, essentially, being inside the house might give you more of an insight if you were doing listening checks in there, because there's always going to be the boundary of the outdoors. So I'd
case,
hold off if I were you.
Should we try the door?
Maybe I should. I mean, would that be my pushing my listen roll by my listen skills not very good. I forget it. I think I'm going to try the door. I'll just try the door.
And you reach your hand out, and if it's all right with you, I'd really love to just cut back over to Buster.
Yeah.
Just resolve that moment.
Yeah.
Are you taking Buster in with you, or are you going to leave Buster out? Well, not that you're in control of that, but I'm assuming you're going to go in as well.
I'm going to complete the circuit of the house,
Yeah.
and assuming Buster's still there under the car, sort of watching when I get around the other side,
Very
I'm
much
going to
so.
whistle for him.
So he
Come on, boy.
he sort of sneaks out from under, but he kind of looks really nervous. He goes, and doesn't seem
What's
to.
wrong with this mud? Get out another bit of the lobster, and I say, "Here, I'll eat it all myself."
He goes back under the car and puts his chin on his forelegs, looking at you from under the
Done,
car.
mud. He says with some,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he says with sweetness. He doesn't-
Heartbreaking sincerity.
I also, quick moment. I have the instinct to take my fishing rods in with me, but I need to know if that's something.
Oh, I assumed that you had
Right.
your kit with you. Yeah. No.
Okay,
I
cool.
assumed.
Yeah, I've got all my bags and stuff.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
stocky,
because my
right?
instinct,
He's
because
stocky
it's getting
and
dark, and because he's spooked, I don't really want to just leave him out. So if I can't convince him to come to the house, I might go back to the car and open it up for him,
yeah. Crack a window
just
and
so he's not like.
crack a window and
Yeah, exactly.
and hope that Loman doesn't notice the leatherette.
Hey,
Don't let him
you,
see.
Exactly.
you ain't leaving that damn dog in my car.
But luckily, you're trying the door right now, which is locked.
Okay.
Also, I haven't suggested that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to wander over.
Yeah.
To the car.
So luckily, Loman, you tried the door.
Coax him
The
out.
door's locked.
The door's locked.
Tasha
Okay.
picked the lock in the desk drawer. Can she pick this lock? How big is it? How old is it?
Yeah, you can give me a lockpick check.
Yeah.
For your special
Can I
abilities.
maybe can I cheekily do exactly what Charles Loman would do and
Yeah.
offer to
Always.
try the lock first? I will fail. Don't worry.
After you.
Yeah. Miserable Yolva, step aside. I think this is probably a man's job. And I roll against my locksmith, which is 1.
If you say so.
You're kidding.
For fuck's sake.
No.
I rolled a 1. I'm really sorry. We can wreck on that if you like.
Why would we? Why would we?
These American
so-
assholes.
Just as you're about to say,
Believe it.
I think it's unlikely that you hear this click. What are you using for your locksmith?
I'm surprised by you.
What am I using for my locksmith? You make a very, very good point.
Bit of lobster jerky.
I use. What have I
You just
have I got
spit
anything
in the
with
lock
Are you
and just
using one of your
jiggle it.
pens, maybe?
anything with me? I might have a set of is it Professor of Agronomy, and maybe he's got a set of compasses. He's got a little pencil case with some like a set square, and
Yeah, lovely. Yeah,
that's all possible.
the surveying tools.
He's got something with a little sharp point on it.
Yeah, nice. So there's a sharp point, and you're sort of you're clicking around. Well, I mean, it's terrific. Let's have a D10 gain on locksmithing. Also,
God,
I think
I feel awful. I feel really awful about that because I was playing that hoping that he would get shown up in a beautiful,
Do you know
fuck the
what?
patriarchy
Like,
way, and
these are the foundations of the patriarchy.
it's okay.
Don't do it, don't.
Three times out of 10, mansplaining does lead to some sort of gain for the group. So
this is the moral.
I'm gonna let it slide.
Oh, dear.
But I won't forget it.
Diamond,
But it has been noted.
electric stuff.
Oh, God, I mean, yeah.
But
Loman's
next time we
not
get back in
sorry.
the car,
Loman's really smug.
when we
Very
next
happy.
get in the car, she will get out her her keys and give the leatherette a bit of a
Yeah, fair enough.
fucking up.
Okay.
Bit of a scuffing.
Meanwhile, this is the perfect distraction as Loman's locksmithing goes up to
6.
6%. It's a pretty good game. Bunyan, you can't help but notice that they're involved with sort of looking at locks and getting inside houses in the woods. So you could easily put the dog in the car and not really be overlooked doing it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and do that. I'll go up to him and say, "Hey, Buster. Hey, boy." Give him a stroke, and I'm assuming he's still sort of just fixedly.
He comes out to you. He does come out to you.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem very confident about it.
Yeah. So I say, "Here, boy. Don't worry about it. I basically open the tin of lobster jerky and put it in the footwell. And then
Oh my god, that's
I
gonna stink.
I take off my jacket, like the one that I've got over my shirt.
Could you give me a luck
bundle
check?
that up. Oh, what? Sorry.
A luck check.
Yes.
And Chuck Layman, can I have a hard spot hidden check for you?
Yeah.
I passed my luck check.
My spot hidden's just the base. Wow. I've rolled a 0-2, which is an extreme spot hidden success.
Nice. So
That's ridiculous.
you definitely see Bunyan doing something with the car, involving windows and stuff and doors closing. But Ruliover's there, kind of looking at you. Well, what is Ruliover's attitude at this particular point to Loman stepping into?
I think I'm a little worried about him. He looks a bit sweaty.
Still, yeah.
He looks
Again,
a little grey, a little sweaty. And I noticed that when he rather inexpertly put his compasses in the door lock, he was lucky to open it.
Very lucky. A sort of 1 in 100 chance of getting that right.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it and being like, oh, I was pretty lucky. But his hands were shaking a little. So I think my attention's focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just slightly keeping an eye.
so Loman, I think she's kind of observing you, but nothing active to prevent it. Are you going to say anything to?
Oh,
to
yeah,
Bunyan?
I do. I yell back towards the car. I don't actually want to be going back to the car. Like, there's 2 reasons why I'd like to stay where I am. Partly,
You are
I don't
under
want
the
to be in
porch
the
now.
open.
You're under the
Yeah,
porch.
but I yell back and I say, "Hey, Allagash, you ain't leaving that damn dog in my car."
No, I just forgot my my fishing rods. Never know, there might be a good spot of angling in this house.
Can I do a psychology roll?
I don't think you need to. He's bluffing.
Well, I mean, I know he's not.
Yeah.
It
I was sort of bullshitting in an obvious.
doesn't make any sense that he's getting his fishing rods, but I mean, is it?
He is. He's pulling fishing rods. You didn't
But
see them earlier.
is it
Could be
obvious to
back
me that
picture.
he is putting the dog in the car?
Well, he's opened a window in the car, so there's obviously something that's happened. If the dog looks like he's gone in there, can't see the dog.
I really don't want that dog in my car. Let me just look at my social skills. Crosstalk. Persuade. No, not really. What's the other one?
Intimidate.
Charm. Oh, I don't feel like charm's going to work in this situation. I really mean it, Allagash. That dog. We don't know how long we're going to be here, and I don't want that dog relieving itself on my back seat. Or
No, he's well trained. Don't worry about that.
listen,
I'll be in with you in a
tie
moment.
up the dog on the porch. Why does the dog got to wait in the car anyway?
He doesn't like the place out here. It's too cold for him. He's spooked. There's some weird smells.
Bring him in the
He'll
house.
be fine. You bring him in the house.
Can I do a persuade roll? See if I can
Yeah.
persuade Allagash to take the dog out of the car. Listen, you can tie him up here on the porch. You can bring him in the house. You could, he could sleep under the car, whatever. But I do not want that dog left in my car. You already nearly damaged the axle. And I failed my persuade roll.
I think at this point, my attention's been grabbed by this conversation. So I look
Yeah, it's a fascinating
over,
conversation, isn't it?
I look over to Bunyan, and I just go, I make a gesture like, just agree.
Cutting your
You don't
hand
have to
across
do
your
it,
neck.
Just agree. I'm just like, I'm sort of cutting across the neck, being like, let's just get us done with.
All right. I'm sorry. I just wanted him to be comfortable, but I won't damage your precious leatherette. Buster, come on, boy. The man doesn't like you in his car.
And I think I'm gonna say, perfect. Let's go into the house. Come on, let's go inside.
So,
Come on, boy. And if I get the sense he's not coming with me, I'm going to try and pick him up and sort of carry him to the house.
He'll come out. I mean, you did just find a 3-foot piece of rope. If you wanted to.
And if I was as intelligent as my character, I would have immediately thought of that. But Allagash does, I think, obviously realise that.
I think at that point, rather than like an idea check or something, I mean, you don't have a leash for him. But it's not like he can't tolerate a leash. It's just, and it doesn't look like he really wants to come.
I usually he's well trained enough that he just follows me.
Well, he will. He'll follow you to the house, but he starts doing this thing as even within 10 yards, he starts to just kind of growl at it and then go.
In which case,
and then walk around in a circle. Yeah. It's the same behaviour.
I will go and grab the rope and just put a little knot in it. It wouldn't not.
No, just enough to sort of hold him.
Good lord.
Just to hang him up from the ceiling. No.
Whoa.
No, I don't.
Extra warnings. We have to do extra warnings for this episode.
Come on, boy. The man doesn't want you in his car, so he can put up with your growling and your barking in here. And I try and sort of ferry him in the front door.
So are you gonna try and take him into the front door?
I'm trying to take him into the house.
Okay,
yeah.
so he does not want. He does not want to go into the house.
Right. Fine.
So he starts digging his heels in, and growling, and he's growling at you. I mean.
Okay, boy. Shh. And I tie a little knot, and if there's is the porch, if it has like a banister along the side.
Yeah, I mean he's a bit uncomfortable about being near the porch, but it's sort of just a long enough rope. He's sort of at a length on it, and he sort of pulls away and sort of sits and looks at you, kind of going, "Why am I so close to this thing I don't want to be so close to?"
This doesn't sit right with me. I sack that off at the last minute. I untie the rope.
You could tie him to the post box, which is a lot further away.
I could, yeah, but
or you could just leave him to go back under the car.
To be fair, I failed my persuade roll, so you could probably leave him in the car.
Well, no, I mean that's conflict. I think he understands that's conflict.
Rulyova, I think her sort of, the gesture from her made me realise, okay, maybe I am just being a bit of a prick here. Well,
I think if anyone's been a prick, it's Loman.
Well, yeah, but I'm being unhelpful.
Yeah.
So I think, but I'm not tying him up, and I don't like him growling at me. He's my friend, so I'm gonna untie the lead. I'm gonna say, all right, boy, you do what you need to do. Sit under the car, whatever. You can scratch at the door if you need me, okay? And I chuck a few bits of the jerky out into the grass around near the car.
He goes and chases after them, and then he goes back over to the front of the car. He's not under it now. He just kind of he sits there with his forelegs out. Now he's got his head up, and he's sort of watching you going in.
And I do. I go in.
If it's fair to say, the three of you regather on the front porch with this dog watching you going in. Not imperiously, but sort of with a degree of sentry. That's the air of a sentry.
A portentous moment.
Portentous. I like it.
Got a degree in English, innit?
In fact, Rulyova, while this dance of masculine powers is going on in front of you regarding Buster and where he's going to stay for the investigations of the house, could you give me a psychology roll?
Of course.
In fact, actually, I'll give you a bonus die with that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great. So, on the one hand, there's this somewhat interminable discussion going on, and there's this sort of confrontation of two egos, two strong characters, and you could argue three strong characters, including the dog, of course. And you look at all three of the individuals, the two humans and the canine. And in that way that sometimes you do, your mind drifts back to the past. Not exactly in a reverie, but actually using some of the techniques that you learnt at those seances and those parties at Madame Scoraya's. And you suddenly recall there was once a dog. It was a beautiful greyhound cross, very intelligent, very elegant dog. And one of the ladies had brought it, and it had been left outside the house. And you'd been in the drawing room looking out, and actually on that day they'd received a visit, the Skorayas, from the man himself, Rasputin. And Rasputin had a gift, had a way with animals, and dumb people, you always thought, whereby he could somehow almost metaphysically take them in his hand and draw them to him. And countless times you'd seen dogs and individuals pulled deep into the spell of him. Spell is the word that you would use. It's instinctive that you would describe it as a spell. But this one dog behaved very differently. She was wary, and she hung her head low and looked at him as if he was a vehicle approaching at speed. And she had a problem with such vehicles, perhaps. And she backed away, and she growled a little, and she looked a little sad when no one reacted. And she, just like Buster, sat on her haunches with her chin on her paws to see that her mistress and the servants didn't come and coddle her, didn't make her feel better. And people laughed and seemed not to notice, but you saw it. And you're suddenly reminded of that moment right now, as far away as one could possibly be from such a moment, perhaps. And all of the trappings of this egotistical conflict and a conversation about nothing, indeed, suddenly seems to take on a greater significance. And you wonder if Buster isn't seeing something that the three of you can't. But of course, it only lingers for a moment, and then reality returns, with the three of you on the porch, and the increasing twilight encroaching. On the subject of light, you can see there are no lights on, curtains are drawn, and there's still the last of the light, so it's not like it's twilight.
It's not really the lack of light that...
So it's more that
anyway.
We're in the woods, so once it starts going down, it'll be dark anyway, right?
So you've got your lighters, haven't you? You have got your lighters, all three of you. Anyone got any torch?
Well,
has anyone got a torch?
How would you feel about me rolling for luck as to whether I have a torch with me? I think there may well have been a torch in the glove box of the car.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I'll give you your first luck here on the porch. Did you bring a torch?
I definitely did. A good torch.
A
hard torch.
Did you bring 2 torches with you?
I'm feeling generous. And I'll give you a second luck roll. Is there another one in the glove compartment when you opened it?
Hey, Algash, I think there may be a flashlight in the glove box. No, there ain't.
No. Well, I tell you what, that's kind of reassuring, because I was going to say, what are you, a drug dealer? Right?
That is, of course, the only reason why anyone would have 2 torches in their car, right?
2 torches in one car? You're insane.
Alagash, do you have a flashlight with you?
Nope, but I've got a lot of firelighting material and a lot of in with my the flies that I make. You know, obviously sometimes I spend a lot of time down by the river, so I've got I can quite easily cook up if I've got flame. I've got bits of cloth and stuff I can use to make a flaming torch.
A bit of phosphorescence, maybe.
Yeah, from the squids I've captured.
And Rulyova, do you have any? Do you have a torch?
I do not have a torch. No.
Wow.
So you do join them, Alagash, and the three of you are now on the front porch.
Yeah.
I believe.
Hey, torches are for porches. Let's get inside. There'll be some lanterns in there, I'm sure.
Nice.
The western light is being cut off by the trees, but it's casting a beautiful shadows from the high hills, reaching over towards the mountain.
Horrible.
In the national park. I say the mountain. There are 3 or 4 good mountains over there, and it's a really stunning New England vista. And for a brief moment, you drink it in. And is someone going to open the door?
I can't help myself. Before we try the door, I look up to the horizon beyond the mountains. Do I see anything in the sky?
I'd also like to say, as you're rolling for this, I've fucking seen him look up in the sky a lot more times than I'd like to see someone look up in the sky. So I don't know if that's a bonus die on figuring out what the fuck he's up to, but
I think you're already aware that there's some kind of. You think it's some kind of shell shock thing from your exit from the psychological.
So it just
institute.
seems like another.
He seems to be on his thing. I think both you and Natasha clock it, but but you also see the relief in his eyes as there's nothing but the last of the stretching blue there, and a few stars pricking above. Is anyone going to open the door?
Should we try the door?
I will. I'm happy to go first, if that's...
Allagash goes for the handle at the same time as you knocking on the door. Alice Devereaux did mention that the police had been there and secured the place, so... You wait for a good moment while this soft knock of Lomans resonates through the forest air, but there's no response. The door opens and leads on to the first floor, as you have it on your maps.
British ground floor.
Yes.
But it's called the first floor.
The British ground floor.
I switch on my flashlight and say, should I light the way? And I look at Royova with a sort of what I think is a charming smile, but it's just like a goofy, nervous grin.
And I smile back at him. I know he's trying to do the right thing.
I mean, if anything, that probably endears him to you more.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's being sweet.
Because of the goofiness.
And I say, lead on.
Lovely. The flashlight really only kind of helps with the darkened corners, because there's enough light coming in through from the other rooms. But yeah, you can see there's a slightly disturbing quality to things, where things have been covered with dust sheets, but some have been cleared. So you can see the sofa has been cleared directly ahead, but in front of it is an uncleared chair, whereas there's a chair down to the south of the fireplace which has been cleared, and a large rug for the fireplace. And then a door off to the left, and some stairs.
If it's all right, I would like to, emboldened by the fact that we're now indoors, I would like to show the fact that I'm unafraid and go straight up to the chair that hasn't been cleared and pull the dust sheet off it.
Nice. A cloud of dust sweeps into the air, catching that lovely, beautiful orange glow of the motes. Could you all roll luck?
Oh shit! I failed.
I failed.
Failed.
It's a triple fail.
We all have asthma attacks.
Yeah. No.
We all die.
No. There's a bit. Yeah, but it does seem to. I will admit, it does seem to sort of banish some element of the. This is an abandoned home, and also there was a kind of haunting sensation that there was one man in here, maybe, and the detectives amongst you would have realised that obviously no two people sat at the fire, just him. But it does draw your attention to the fireplace. All of this.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, one chair next to the fire was uncovered, but the sofa was uncovered. I suppose that serves a different purpose.
Given what Natasha saw in the apartment with the partially burnt papers in the fireplace, I'd like to go over and check out the fireplace here, if I may.
Yes.
Nice.
No spot hidden is required. But could you give me an idea roll?
I could try. Yeah, I could try. That's intelligence, right?
Yes, it is indeed. Intelligence check.
Oh, it's a fail. Damn it.
So what you see is exactly the same. And the precision with which it has been done is unnerving. But you still have that nagging sensation that you can't quite shift. You are observed doing this, and the other two of you don't even need to do a psychology roll to see that it's not premeditated, but it's done with the authority of someone who's checking something. Do you know what I mean? And there's now a stillness. The last of the dust motes are settling through the sunlight. Yeah. Bless you.
I say, well, friends, I have to say, now we're here, I find myself wondering what we thought we'd accomplish by coming to this place is clearly deserted. I don't know whether we thought we'd come in here and Jeremy, Professor Winters would be sat here listening to the wireless, but this feels potentially like a wasted journey.
Well, we haven't seen all the rooms yet. Perhaps we should have a look. Is there a downstairs? There's certainly an upstairs. Should we have a look at the upstairs and then see... I mean, if there's a journal or something, I mean, hey, listen to me here. I don't mean to be insincere. Well, no, not insincere. I don't mean to be unsentimental, but there's a chance this man has, he's killed himself for a reason, or he's done something along those lines. We should see if there's anything that might give us a clue as to that.
Gentlemen, in the fireplace, there are things that have been burnt. Very specific. It was the same in his apartment. It is a link.
Specific what? Writings or
specific
articles?
Destruction. I cannot tell.
Are you going to have a look, Allagash?
Yeah.
Maybe you can make more sense of it than I can.
I doubt it. I can barely speak my own language, but I'll have a look.
I think either a natural world or a chemistry roll could be useful at this stage.
Well, let me surprise you all by saying my chemistry is 90%. No, it's not. Where are we?
Well,
oh dear.
I mean, those are things that I might be able to help with, but
said every white man.
Oh my god, guys!
What?
Just rolled a 1 on my natural world, which is now 17 because of the roll I got to
what
do
the
earlier.
fuck? I feel like my 60 points I spent on natural world are a complete waste because you're just doing it for me.
Waste of time.
That's blind luck.
That is.
I think for argument's sake, if Allagash survives and we ever see him again, you should probably tick that box. But you've already made a 10-point gain. So you don't need a 7-point gain. So there's no further gain. But you've definitely done brilliantly there. It occurs to you
have a new career.
that whatever has been burnt there was not wood.
Right.
It was
Lobster.
It was fine paper, fine quality paper. And it sits in an almost, in a slightly disturbingly perfect mound. And
so it's like they were just specifically burning that one thing?
Or
maybe
that he or they or someone burnt a pile of papers with an intensely specific, in an intensely specific way. Just as you're doing that, because Professor Lohman is the one who's slightly further away from it, just only because he hesitated. I wouldn't even call it a hesitation. It just wasn't his front foot. Could you give me a listen check?
Yeah.
And I'd like to apologise in advance that it's you.
Oh dear. Oh, I failed it by 4. Is this something that I want to spend luck on, or actually is something I don't want to hear?
The rule of us,
spend the
Dan.
luck, mate.
I can't answer that question, but
I'm going to spend the luck.
I think it's worth. I think it's worth it at this stage in the proceedings.
Don't do it.
So
I also think
Pass.
it's good you passed. It's an atavistic sense that the human has when it hears the scattering, simpering, skittering run of a quadruped of a certain size.
Wait.
Okay,
And
well,
you are absolutely sure that a large rat has just run from one room directly behind you to another.
that doesn't bother Chuck Loman.
No, I apologise to Dan. I didn't
Yeah.
apologise to Loman.
I, as Allagash, get up on to my 2 feet again and say, sorry, I was just checking out the floorboards.
Since I've just heard a rat scurry across the floor, could
Yeah.
I ask you if I may do a check, which I was sort of thinking about anyway?
Please do, Daniel.
I don't know what the check would quite be, but I'd like to know if I can smell anything, because thinking about the dates, this guy went away over a week ago. It's July.
Yeah.
If he killed himself a while ago, chances are we might be able to smell something. Can I?
Yeah.
What would
Gosh,
I roll
really
for
thought you were
that?
talking about dates as in the fruit for quite a lot of that sentence.
I think
No.
maybe a power check.
Power.
But you're totally right, because actually, rat shit and rat piss does smell a bit like dates. It's very sweet. Very.
I was thinking about rats chewing on a corpse,
honeyish.
but oh yeah, I just passed my power check by 1 point.
Bad dates.
I think I would say that there is a sweetness. There is a sweetness in the air.
Like a ripe sort of.
It's hard to tell with the forest and it being summer. There's a sweetness. You wouldn't say that it was rancid, though. You wouldn't say that it was animal. You would say that it was more kind of maybe floral.
Oh, could I do a natural world?
For your sakes, map-wise, I think the rat ran into the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay.
You didn't see it.
Is it? I mean, if I was to ask you if I could do a natural world or biology check,
Yeah,
might
yeah,
you be able to
yeah.
be more specific about that?
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you want? Either
Whichever you would prefer. Which is your
Natural-
strongest? Roll your
natural
strongest.
world. Natural world. I don't know whether I can spend any more luck, to be honest. No, I'm going to leave that. I was only 2 away, but my luck is so bad already.
How low is your luck?
My luck is now down to 20.
Yeah, that's low. Yeah.
I think-
you spent some luck on some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spend any more luck just to find out what kind of flower
I don't think it's
can
worth
smell.
it. I don't think it's worth it. Well, I think he would. I think he would probably go. I don't recognise it. Why don't I recognise this? This is unusual. There's a sweetness to the air.
Yeah.
You think it might be some kind of flower. I'm going to give you this in the interests of timing. You check the whole of the bottom floor, and this is what you find. It is summer, so you do find a few lazy flies kicking around in the house. It's not that it's completely lifeless in that sense. Oh, and you do also find, downstairs, you do find a locked cabinet. Which I think you will basically decide you'll come back to, just because you want to make sure that you are alone and that there's nothing obvious, like dead bodies lying on the floor, as has been discussed, especially with the arrival of a couple of flies here and there, and this disquieting sense of the rat, or the rats. But yes, there's a locked gun cabinet, it looks like, and there seems to be some wear and tear on this first floor. There's very bright, intense sunlight, and you can see some of the walls have suffered damp and mould. And you've clocked some of that, and you're kind of interested in coming back to have a look at that in more detail. But it is that sort of cursory thing of just double checking. So there's sort of 2 areas of interest on the downstairs floor. That the wear and tear has caught your eye, but such is the intensity of the sunlight that is that thing that you glance at and you go, it's a bit discoloured on that wallpaper and on the wood there. And you think, but I'll come back to check that, because obviously you've still got the upstairs to go. If that's all right with you, just, as I say, in the interest of creating that forward momentum. I'm not trying to de-escalate the threat. Feel threatened, by all means.
Thanks. while we're checking it, is there any indication? Have I noticed that smell is stronger in any particular room or not? It's not coming from the kitchen, for example.
Well, then you go upstairs.
Okay.
And as you're checking through upstairs, there's a nerve-wracking moment where you see a couple of things covered in sheets, and the twilight transforms the sheets into faces and figures. But of course that's just your imaginations working on you. That isn't an 8-foot-tall monk with burning eyes. Why would it be? That's insane. And you check upstairs as well. And you find yourselves back in the kitchen, having searched the whole of the first and the second floor of the house, when all of you do a listening check.
I failed.
Oh,
Big success.
succeeded. Oh, I got 4 on a 20.
So
26 on a 50.
So Allagash
Fucking hell.
and Natasha hear something underneath them. And Allagash, you're absolutely certain it's more than one rat
Oh.
scrabbling away into the root cellar as you come into the kitchen.
Rat King. Well, I'm immediately... What? Am I sure it's a rat, or am I...
Sounds like rats. They sound like rats. And it sounds like it was directly underneath you in the cellar. And there's no intensity of the fruit smell up here that you can tell.
Hey, like,
That is
E-
definitely
either-
rats.
you follow the rat, you either find a decent cheese cellar, or you find a body. So I'm going to be looking for any sort of trapdoor or a door down to the cellar.
I don't know this expression, root cellar.
These are the storm-style doors from Twister. Is my frame of reference. Where they're
Or
sort of at that
Wizard
angle.
of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah. So
Yeah.
much stronger. Nice.
Twist
Wizard of Oz.
is a much better.
Yeah.
Was the frame of
So-
reference. My 90s.
Okay. Yeah. So that's...
Personally, I'm with you on the Twister
It's one of the
reference.
best
But yeah,
frames.
But
And it's called a
I
root
assume,
cellar.
Yeah, I assume it's where you keep your root beer cool, right?
yeah, right.
Okay.
Oh,
Not
no,
where
it's
the,
sort of
No,
where, like,
why is-
where
is
the
it where
roots of the
tree?
trees...
potatoes and stuff.
It's
Root
where,
vegetables.
it's where you keep your root vegetables?
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
Keep
But
them in the dark.
I
and the
like
cold.
its ambiguity.
Where they belong.
Well, I mean, we'll keep this in because maybe our listeners don't know, and
Look
it's
it up.
Pilkington's terminology, not mine. While our expert is looking
Well,
at it,
I'm happy to. I'm
Allagash
just
is
either
striding
way.
towards it.
A root cellar, American English, or earth cellar, British English, is a structure, usually underground or partially underground, used for the storage of vegetables, fruits, nuts, or other foods. Its name reflects the traditional focus on root crops stored in an underground cellar, which is still often true. There you go.
Okay.
There we go. A root cellar.
Keeps
Full
keeps
of
them
love
better.
it.
potatoes.
Potato.
So, we've seen the rats come into the kitchen and then disappear down into a corner somewhere under the floorboards.
You heard one go through into the kitchen, then down, and now Allagash has heard more than one, and you and Natasha definitely heard another rat, or the same rat perhaps, going further under the house. I think
I'm
it's
looking around
crucial with a
for
success
fucking-
like that for Allagash, is there was a sense of going underneath the kitchen, away from the entrance to the root cellar.
I'm gonna look, outside maybe.
Great, so you go over to the back door leading onto the back porch. It's locked by a latch, but you can flip the latch and then you go through, and the root cellar is actually held shut by a bar. Shoved between two handles. In that way they do.
I probably make some sort of comment and say, well, I guess we've checked this house top to bottom, turned it over. He ain't here. Ain't no journal.
I should have said that there were also a couple of cigarette butts that you found here on the ground floor. And of course, there was this wear and tear on the walls that you were sort of vaguely aware of in this bright sunlight blinding you. And there was the gun cabinet. Yeah.
Where?
Oh yeah, so the gun cabinet is here on the... I'm sorry, I shouldn't have rushed you past it.
No, that's
really.
quite all right.
with the stuffed bear and the stuffed moose on the southern side. The dining table is all covered. On the southern side, there's a floor to ceiling cabinet, which is locked. Which I'm not even going to need to make you do a roll. It might be a gun cabinet, a hunting lodge gun cabinet.
So I say, unless you want to try that cabinet again, and I mean, I think it doesn't take a genius to realize that no one's going to be able to kill himself and lock himself inside a cabinet. There ain't no professor in this house. There ain't nobody in this house.
Well, we would be remiss to leave if we do not check the cellar also.
Give us a spot hidden, all of you. Because now you've exhausted the surface area of things.
Failed.
Failed.
Pass. Strong pass.
What did you roll?
Hey.
A 39 on a 60.
So just as you're kind of having your final conversation of what to do next, Natasha, if it's all right with you, Natasha, I'm going to say that you let out a whistle of some kind, or a kind of "hoo" expression to draw the attention of the others. The door had been left open, and you closed the door, and as you did so, the light changed, and you saw against the door jamb, you saw some strange orange lines up at the sort of at head height and just above it, and they seemed to be moving. The sound draws the attention of the others.
The whistle, as in.
Yeah.
What
drew you in.
have you spotted?
I come to the doorway, but I stay in the doorway just so I can hear what they're saying.
So we're at the doorway of the kitchen, looking out into the living room.
Yeah. Basically straight down south to the front door entrance, which has now been closed.
What is it? Roll you over. What have you spotted?
I think there's somebody at the door.
Well, you can see it. You can see it too. There are strange orange lines about head height, just off to the left of the door, and they appear to be wriggling slightly in the wall.
What? I don't understand what. I don't.
And you do not understand what you are seeing.
So they're in the wall, not through the window.
They appear to be in the wooden wall.
And are they light?
What is that?
Lines of light?
They appear to be glowing slightly orange.
What is it? What is that?